Hi class, so today we're going to be talking about the 5 stages of grief. The standard that goes with this lesson is HS.MESH.5, which is describe the 5 stages of grief. The essential question that goes with this lesson is, what are the 5 stages of grief and why does someone go through them? About the 5 stages, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross created the 5 stages in 1969. The 5 stages usually occur when someone has passed away, maybe a loved one or someone who is very close to us. The 5 stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. It is important to remember that not everybody grieves in the same way or follows this exact pattern. It is important to know this pattern because it is possible that someone will follow this pattern. It's also important to know that not everyone makes it through all 5 stages, very sadly, but it's true. And simple clarification and reassurance, as well as a bit of helpful cooperation and a few kind words, can help anybody going through these stages. So first we want to start with the first stage, which is denial. Denial is a common defense mechanism that buffers the immediate shock of the loss or numbing us to our emotions. We tend to block out the words and hide from the facts. We do not want to believe what has happened has actually happened. And avoidance, confusion, shock, and fear are some words that go with denial. So when you get that first initial phone call or somebody tells you what has happened, you don't want to believe that it's true. You don't think that that's really happening. They might just be messing around with you. It's just going through denial. The second stage is anger. The anger may be aimed at inanimate objects, complete strangers, friends, or family. It doesn't have to be at anybody specific, it's just anger in general. Anger can even be directed towards the dying or deceased loved one. So rationally, we know that the person is not to be blamed for the death, but we may resent them for causing us the pain or for leaving us. The person going through this may feel guilty for being angry, which just in turn makes them more angry. Their anger can be directed at the doctor who diagnosed the illness or the disease, and if they were unable to cure the disease. This is for something like if you have a loved one who died of cancer, you think that the doctor didn't do all in their power to save your loved one. Some words that go with this are frustration, anxiety, and irritation. The third stage is bargaining. And bargaining is the normal reaction of feeling helpless and vulnerable. And it's often a need to regain control through a series of if-only statements. And some examples would be, if only I had sought medical attention sooner, if only we'd gotten a second opinion from another doctor, anything that makes you feel a bit better. Well, not feel a bit better, but anything that you think may have helped or could have helped. A person may make a deal with God or a higher power in an attempt to postpone the inevitable and accompany the pain. Guilt often accompanies bargaining. We start to believe that there was something that we could have done differently that would have helped save our loved ones. So if I would have done this, then they might still be alive. Some words that go with this are overwhelmed, happiness, or hostility. Depression is the fourth, and depression can be seen in 2 different ways in this process. It can be seen as sadness and regret, where we worry about the cost of the burial or worry that we have spent less time with others that depend on us. So feeling like you have many other tasks that you need to take on. It can also be subtle and more private. It's a quiet preparation to separate and bid our loved ones farewell. Sometimes all we really need is a hug. And this is when someone just struggles to find meaning. Acceptance. Acceptance is the 5th and final stage. Not everyone reaches this stage. It's not necessarily a period of happiness, but also needs to be distinguished from depression because it's not necessarily the same thing. You think of it as maybe something that you can live with, not something that you've just gotten over. You just kind of come to terms with the fact that the new reality is that person that you lost is never coming back. And this is exploring options, moving on, and just having new plans.